And hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pumpkin Copter Cast, a good old podcast about video games. Today I'm joined by a friend slash game dev that I am acquainted with, Aundre Rogers. Hello, Aundre.
Hello. It's good to be on a podcast for the first time. Second time? Maybe. I don't know.
This just barely qualifies as a podcast, just so you know.
Hey man, start small, grow big.
Yep. So, just a bit of backstory for the -7 of you who are listening in to us. Andre and I are, well, one of the threads on the internet that unites us is that we are both fans of the show, or just madhouse that is video games awesome.
Yeah, love them. Frash and Becky, Ben, Kyle, Deacon, love them all.
And yep, one of the best parts of going to PAX, which is a video game convention for those of you who don't know, is that you get to meet people from all over. And
hmm
so, Andre, why don't you tell anyone who might be listening out there what you do and why you do it?
Well, I am a self-proclaimed game developer. I guess I can go ahead and just say I am a game developer. I've released a few games and I've made money, so I guess yeah, I'm a game developer. My goal is to eventually start my own business. Um, and I think this game might be the first one to kind of kick the can in the right direction. Uh, I, as far as why I do it, I absolutely love it. To be honest, one day I sat down. This is when I was in college, and I asked myself, like, what is it that I really want to do? Because I was in college for theater, because I absolutely love theater.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and but I couldn't do it anymore. It's just one of those days where it's like I don't think I can do this for the rest of my life. So I sat down. I was like, okay, what do I want to do? What do I love to do? So that I'm not really just kind of stressed out for the rest of my life. Playing video games, I love it. Um, and since I have a very active imagination, I was like, well, why not I just make games? So that's kind of how that started. 6 years later, here I am.
So, before we get into the main game of yours that we're talking about today, what other games have you released into the world?
Um, a lot of them should never have been released. They're not very good, and that's coming from my mouth. Um, I've released several games on the iPhone. Don't bother picking up your phone to look because they are no longer in the store. Uh, I think my very first game, you can still find a trailer for it on YouTube. It's called Paper Car Runner. It's basically like a side scroller from left to right. You drive your car on top of roofs and buildings and stuff like that. It was fun, but it's just the beginning stages. And then I made another game, and so on and so forth. And at a certain point, I was like, I'm kind of done with iPhone. I would like to move on to a bigger platform because I have a philosophy when it comes to game design is that every game I make, I want it to be substantially bigger and better than the last one,
Mm-hmm.
which is why this game has taken me so long to make. Um, so I decided to stop making iPhone games and make PC games. Uh, and then I was working on two different games, one called Darkness and another called I don't remember the name of it. It didn't have a name because well, this is actually a sad story because
Oh,
so my computer caught a virus,
oh,
and in
jeez.
in fixing the virus, it deleted the files for both of those games, and I didn't have a backup.
Oh no.
So I lost essentially about 8 to 10 months worth of work, and there was no way of getting it back. So I cried that day. um,
Jeez.
but something good came out of it. Basically, I kind of just got frustrated, and I was like, I want to make something. I basically had two done finished games that I lost, and I was like, I just want to make something. So I made a game I call Rolling Gauntlet. It's very simple. It's very buggy. Uh, you can get it in the App Store, not App Store, in the Steam library. It's 99 cents. I'm actually going to say hold off on that because I do want to return and fix a lot of the bugs. I've gotten a lot better since that game. So there's a lot of things I want to fix in it. But I'm putting it off until I finish what is my current game, Dead Noir.
Yeah, and we'll just move on to that. Just very brief, and like, if you could summarize it in a few sentences, how would you summarize Dead Noir?
Dead Noir is a period piece. It's a mysterious murder kind of game. A whodunit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know how to shrink it down without spoiling because it's got some supernatural twists in it. So things happen as they do in video games.
So, from the name, I can guess that it's going to be film noir or film noir-ish. And I was wondering, is there like any work of noir fiction that inspired you to go in that direction, or did you just think to yourself one day, "Oh, film noir, I could do a game about that"?
Honestly, it was the latter. I just kind of I don't create the ideas for the games that I make. I kind of just let them come to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so one day I was just sitting around and bam, I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool? Honestly, though, one game did inspire me a little bit. Have you ever heard of D4, Dark Dreams Don't Die?
I have heard of that. Yes.
It's a very amazing game, and it kind of inspired Dead Noir.
Hmm.
So I guess if there's anything to blame, it's that. But no, it's I hope it's fun. I don't know.
And so, from the trailers you've released of the game so far, I've noticed that it is not just a adventure type game, but also a first person adventure type game. Now, is that a deliberate choice? Did you think that would add to the overall experience, or was it more like because of limitations of the technology you have on hand?
It's kind of a mix and match. So originally, like D4, it was going to be a point and click style game,
Mm-hmm.
and then it kind of turned into a top down style game. Um, but then eventually, like it just kind of settled in being first person because that's what I could work with best. So it's like, and this game has been a massive undertaking and a huge learning process for me. So that there's a lot of stuff in this game that I kind of want to go deeper in and with, but it has to release at some point. So this has been a massive learning experience for me. So I don't know. I want to take a lot of what I've learned with making this game into the next one, which we won't get into yet.
So, in the process of making this game, have you gone to any formal like video game making school, or did you just like teach yourself the process of making games as you go?
I taught myself, but that started in 2011 when I started making games. Period. Like I said, I was in college for drama. That was what I was majoring in. Um, and so when I decided to make games, I said, okay, I can teach myself because the way I see it is if I wanted to do it in college, I would have to learn a lot of stuff that really isn't going to be applied to the making of games. Just more of understanding the concept, which is important. Don't get me wrong. I just felt like I could figure it out on my own, and I guess I have. I don't know. Yeah, I taught myself. YouTube has been an amazing teacher.
uh, hmm. So, like, you've mentioned that it was a learning curve. Now, what part in your time making this game, what like particular part of actually making the game did you find the most difficult?
Uh, I don't know if I could pinpoint a single thing. Um, like I said, this has been a massive undertaking. Pretty much everything in this game is me doing something I have not done before. Um, so in rolling that, like even let me try to explain this. So like something as simple as the way levels transition.
Mm-hmm.
is completely different to the way I did it in my previous game. The way the game saves is completely different. The way the characters move and everything about this game is me doing something that I have not done before. So I'd say the entire game has been a massive, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm banging my head against the wall until it works. And then I can sit down with it later and tweak it to make it work better. Like, this entire game has controller support. I've never done that before.
Oh.
It actually, you can't, I mean, you can play the game with mouse and keyboard, but the menus won't work because they're not programmed for mouse and keyboard. It's all programmed for controller.
That's something to keep in mind when it comes on the market then.
Yeah, I guess I hadn't really announced that one.
Sid, so without giving away too much of what you already have envisioned, will the player character of Dead Noir, will that be just like you, the player, or will it be like a predetermined, or will it be an established character in the world of the game?
It will be an established character in the world. In the same vein of doing things I've never done before, this is a I want to say quote unquote full story, but it definitely leaves things for want. But yeah, it's an established character who you'll be following and controlling as the player, and going through this adventure.
And since it's an adventure type game you're making, I have to,
Well, I have to correct you, unfortunately.
Oh.
So when I say adventure, I guess the better word would be story, because this is not an adventure game. This is a very linear story progressing, game. You go here, based on the story beats.
Okay.
So free roaming is to the absolute minimum. I don't want to give people the wrong idea.
Okay, so, I know this particular genre gets a bad rap sometime, but would you say it's more akin to, the quote, walking simulator, unquote?
I would say it's more akin to a walking simulator.
Okay.
But I guess the best thing to say following that statement is, for the people who hate walking sims, this will be the last one that I make.
Okay, then.
I've already got the next one planned out. It is absolutely not. Like I said, between games, everything is going to be different, trying new things. The next game is going to be packed full of things I have never done before. So.
Okay, then. Good to know. So, while I try and scramble for other things to say, what is, like, your background, like, as a gamer? Did you play games a lot as a kid, or did you just recently start, or?
I have been playing games for as long as I can remember. I actually got teased and made fun of for the amount I played video games. I had the nickname Game Boy from my own brother because of how much I played. He was just mad because I'd always win.
Yep, I know how that goes.
And I have the SNES, Super Mario. I have the N64, the PS1, 2, 3, 4, Xbox. I had them all. So I've been gaming since I was a child.
I know how that is. I have a 360, a PS3, a Wii U, and a Switch, so...
Yeah, Switch for the win.
Oh, goodness, there's so much crazy stuff coming out with that.
And the worst part is I don't have the time anymore. Between working a full-time job and then making games, time to play games has just dramatically disappeared.
Ugh, it's definitely one of the less glamorous parts of being a grown-up.
Yeah, definitely.
So, is there... And while we're on the playing games in your past, was there a specific game that made you go, oh, video games, I could dedicate a portion of my life to this.
No. So gaming is like it's in my blood. Like I if it doesn't have to do with video games, I don't care about it. And I don't know when that started, but I can definitely tell you what game sticks out in my mind, like what game sticks out from the early days. And it's Ocarina of Time on the N64.
Oh.
Which I still own and it still works. I think I beat that game in all of its forms like 10 to 12 times.
Yep. That game definitely scared me quite a bit as a kid.
I think the only scary part was the shadow dungeon.
Oh, goodness. Yep.
But other than that, yeah.
Just because they pretty much just state that it's built on a literal mountain of corpses, and you're like, this is rated E.
I am a child, and this is scary.
But the part that scared me the most when I first discovered it, and still creeps me out to this day, is when you're deep in the well, I believe in Kakariko Village, and you're in a eerily quiet room of just weird, bizarrely chalk white hands, and then one of them grabs you, and then this scary thing that looks like it's made out of nightmares comes, and it tries to bite your face off, and I'm like, no.
That didn't scare me as much as the Wall Master did. The Wall Master. Oh.
The way it crawls.
Yeah. Well, it's just that he comes out of like nowhere if you stand still long enough, and he grabs you, and that would always terrify me because it's like, okay, I gotta keep moving.
So, is there a particular game that just... What was the first game that made you rage and be like, I'm done with this, and almost made you break whatever console you were playing it on?
I have... I would think I'm unique in that I have never raged, at least not to the point of breaking something. I can't even think of a time when I've raged. I think it would have to be modern day with Overwatch. That's my current addiction. Playing comp with teammates who throw or just don't want to play. I think that's about as close as I'm going to get.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't rage. I'm very calm, collected. So I don't know. I don't let my emotions get to me.
I wouldn't know what it's like to play Overwatch because for some reason Blizzard doesn't feel like making a port to the Macs.
I thought that was on Mac.
No, apparently not. According to people in Blizzard, like most Mac computers don't have whatever it is you need to have in order to play the game, and I'm like, that stinks.
Well, I mean, like you could try dual booting. I don't know, and see if it could run it.
I'm bad at technology, so I don't know how.
It's complicated.
Well, I don't know much about Overwatch. I know a bit, so who would you say is your most favorite character?
I have two favorite characters. My all-time favorite character, just as a character, is Tracer. Mm-hmm. I love her a lot. But my favorite character to play is Widowmaker.
Oh.
But I'm not consistently good with her. So more often than not, I end up playing Anna because I like to snipe. And I'm really good with Anna, so. Trying to reach Diamond by the end of the season, but that's not going to happen. Stuck in Plat.
So, since we first met at PAX, was PAX the first gaming convention you ever went to, or were there others before?
So far, PAX is not the only one I've ever been to, but it was the first. Here recently, I went to RE Play. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I don't think it's around my neck of the woods.
No, I don't think they get out much, but it's getting bigger. So I went to that and got a chance to meet a few more devs and see some games and showed off my game, which it's going very well, getting real close here with mine. But PAX was the first, and it's currently kind of the only one I can afford to get to, mainly because it's only 3 hours from my current residence.
Right. Saving money is always good.
Especially when you don't have any.
Yeah. Oh.
Talk about a challenge. Build a game on a $0 budget. Talk to me when you can do that.
Yeah. I'm a I'm a teacher of the young people by trade, so I know what it's like to have not a whole lot of money to work with.
It's my opinion. Teachers should be being paid the most.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Protests.
So something well, for me, PAX was the very first time, and I realized that gaming as a whole can be a community experience. Because the first time I went to PAX, I met even before I met the video games awesome crew. I just got to talk to so many devs and just random people passing by. You get to have like fun conversations with or play a game with. And where I'm going with this is there a specific moment when you went to a convention where you felt that like sense of community in gaming, or was it just going to a gaming convention as a whole?
For me, I kind of expected the community thing, mainly because PAX wasn't the first convention that I went to. I went to a anime convention a few years prior in Galveston. So I kind of had that idea. Okay, at these conventions, this is a place where people who can, are very like-minded can come and enjoy the company of other people who enjoy and think a lot like you do. Because we're all different. You're not going to be exactly the same, but very like-minded people, and it's a chance to really connect with a lot of people like that. So when I went to PAX, I was like, okay, this is a gaming convention, so same deal, but with games, and I think even more so I can connect on that level because, like I said, gaming is it's my blood and soul. So yeah, I don't know. I expected the community to be awesome, and it was.
Huh. Always good to hear. So, since I'm totally on top of this, definitely not straggling for things to talk about, is there, even though you don't have as much time as you wish you did, is there a game on the horizons that you're looking forward to the most?
Mario Odyssey right now, Red Dead Redemption after that, Destiny 2 at some point. And then there's things I'd like to finish, like Final Fantasy 15. I promised myself that when I finish Dead Noir, I would play Persona 5. I have it. I've played a little bit at the beginning, but I've put it down because that is a game that's going to take me some months. So I'm not going to touch it until I finish this first. But it's those, but mostly Mario because it's supposed to be the first one like the N64 one and the GameCube one. I can't remember the names.
Super
Sunshine.
Mario Sunshine.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like those. So
Yep.
I'm interested in that. I can get down with that.
Very open worldy. And while we're on that, I'm looking forward to it too. Like there's a vaguely realistic city to go to, and then there's all these crazy worlds. But what got me the most excited was, I think, during Nintendo's presentation thing that they did around E3, when for their one of their big trailers, they did that whole musical number, uh, that musical trailer, which I think was about Pauline singing about how
Oh, I
darn
missed
awesome
that
the
trailer.
game is going to be. And just, I'm like, I need that in my veins.
I missed that trailer. I heard of it and I saw like a clip of it, but I haven't seen the actual trailer. I gotta go watch that.
Yeah, it is quite something.
I'll check that out in a minute.
And something I'm surprisingly excited for. which most people are just confused about, is the Mario and Rabbids crossover for the Switch. Which, at first,
I'm
you go ahead.
I'm not sure where I sit with the Mario Rabbits thing. Because I've never played XCOM, and let's just go ahead and say that's just Mario XCOM.
Mm-hmm.
I've never played XCOM, but it looked interesting, and I don't know. It's just something about XCOM that I just couldn't really get into it enough to actually buy it. But then I'm seeing Mario, and I'm like, okay, maybe. I don't know. I kind of want to try it.
Looks on one hand a Mario tactical RPG. It looks like it's gonna be quite something. The music's done by Grant Kirkhope,
Yes.
which which got me excited even more. The
I'll be
only
honest. I thought he was done.
yeah, the only thing I'm hesitant about is the rabbits themselves, because just whenever they shout, I have to restrain myself from jumping out a window sometimes.
Well, based on that trailer, they didn't really scream all that much,
Thank
which I
goodness.
am actually not happy about. I like their scream.
Really?
It's just a character quirk for them that somehow it just works for me.
Okay then.
I don't know. I'm weird.
Yeah. Who isn't? Same. Yep. Those games are what I am most hyped about, and there's way too many things coming out.
Oh yeah, that's the part about like being an adult with no free time that kills me. It's like all of these games. I want to play all of these games. I have no time to do it.
Yeah.
Like only during the Steam Summer Sale that I finally pick up Quantum Break, which I've been looking forward to since before it came out, and I
Mm-hmm.
just got it. And I haven't even played the first chapter all the way through yet.
Yeah. For me, the game recently I haven't had time for is that I'm slowly playing through all of the Pokemon games, and after the Pokemon Direct where they announced all of the stuff they're rolling out, I'm like, ugh, I want to play the Pokemon games, but it takes so much time, and real life happens, and oh my goodness.
That's one of those games that I'm actually glad that I didn't get super into. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Pokemon Yellow. That's probably my favorite one,
Mm-hmm.
but I never beat any of them.
Yeah.
I get to a certain point and then I'm just like, all right, I'm good. I've had enough.
It took me until about I think 2012, 2013 to beat my very first Pokemon game, which was Pokemon X, and oh boy, what a ride that was.
I think I got to the Electric Town or whatever that was,
Mm-hmm.
and then I hit that point where I was like, I'm good. I don't care anymore. And I was like, I'm done. I don't want to play this anymore.
Let's
Oh,
see.
but did I mention? I know I posted it on my Facebook page, but there's not very many people there. Uh, Once I finish the regular version of the game, I'm going to duplicate it and then create a VR version of the game.
Whoa.
That's going to be quite the undertaking because, again, something I've never done before. But VR, I honestly believe VR is amazing. If you've never gotten a chance to use it, you really should.
Oh, I
Um,
wish.
Go ahead.
I wish I could just. It's just
It
the
it's expensive, I know.
yeah, just that on top of all the conventional gaming consoles I have. It's just like I don't think I could afford it. At least not now.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's definitely a thing that I was like, I'm gonna put this off, and I'm gonna get this. So I have the PSVR and I have the Vive.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Gotta say, the Vive amazing. PSVR, great for its price.
Yeah.
But the Vive is so much obviously better. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish the game and then I'm going to basically because I'm gonna have to break the game um, because I have to change the way things are written and programmed so that it works with VR. And hopefully I make it good because I don't get motion sickness, but I know a lot of people do. So that's something I'm looking into to make sure that people don't get sick playing it.
Yeah, I get dizzy easy, so I feel like I'd have to be wary whenever I approach a VR thing.
I don't know. I kind of feel sorry for the people who get sick because there's some really cool games on VR.
Yep. And with that, I believe we've reached the end of this little charade that I fool people into thinking is a podcast. So,
I've been bamboozled.
so again, for the negative 12 people who have been watching this, my guest has been Aundre Rogers working on the game coming
Dead
out.
Noir.
Yep, that will be coming out in the nearish
Near
future.
future. So I've plotted out. I should be done in about 2 months. The only thing that would hold me up would be assets because I have to buy them.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes out of my pocket money. So, between bills and gas and food, it comes the game. And so that would probably be the only thing that holds me up. But I am actually very close to being completely done with the core game.
Yeah.
There's only like 2 more levels to work on, and then it's done.
Good to know. Coming in the
Very near future.
always good to hear, and I'll be putting trailers to the. I'll put the available trailers for Dead Noir in the description of this video, so anyone interested can check it out and see if that's something they'd want to try.
And
And
if you really like it, you can drop by my Facebook page. I make like dev blogs and updates and screenshots and things that aren't in the trailer are in that. And I've been making some documents about the building of the game and the structures and how things come together that won't get published until after the game's out, obviously. So if you want to check out the behind the scenes, go like the page. It's facebook.com/Super Aundre.
there you go. Just copy the thing he just said onto your internets and you'll be there. And if any of you watching, if anyone is watching, listening, whatever to this, and you like what you heard, feel free to like and subscribe to the Pumpkin Copter Cast, a good old podcast about video games. And even though I rarely post anything worthwhile, you can follow me on the Twitters at tgorman83, or you can follow my friend Andre on the Twitters.
So mine's is really easy because if you want to find me literally anywhere, you just search GM_Dre, and you'll find me everywhere.
There you go, GM_Dre, to find him on the
Facebook, on Twitter, PlayStation, Steam, Blizzard, everything. It's all the same.
And with that, we are concluded. So I hope those of you listening liked listening, and we'll hopefully see you next time. So goodbye, everyone.
Bye.